Good evening. I'm Byron Scott with a CTV News Update. Nearly 120 million Americans, 1 in 3 nationally, live in counties with unhealthy air, including in the DMV area. That's according to the American Lung Association, which released its 2023 State of the Air report today. The DMV ranked 26th worst out of 227 metro areas across the U.S. 4 Maryland counties got failing grades, including Prince George's.
Georges County did get an F with 12 orange days in ozone. They did get an A in 24-hour particle pollution and passed in the annual. We do know that people's behaviors changed during the pandemic, right? Less people were driving and commuting and all of those things. However, from EPA, we haven't seen anything kind of significant. The sooner we can accelerate to zero emission vehicles, we know that that is a really important move to cut air pollutants.
For more information, visit lung.org/SOTA. Well, the South County Environmental Justice Coalition plans a protest on this Earth Day to target this tract of land on the 7200 block of Livingston Road in Oxon Hill. According to the coalition, PEPCO plans to build a lithium-ion battery storage facility on the land, which is in close proximity to homes and a daycare center. Organizers say such facilities are potentially dangerous.
Lithium batteries have been known to create situations that are unheard of. Local fire departments right now are not equipped to deal with that particular emergency. The toxic fumes that come from lithium battery storage facility is different than a house fire. They're very toxic. These are the sort of fires you can't run up here and throw water on. This is lithium battery fires. These fires burn for hours and days. You've probably seen some of the incidences that occurred with lithium batteries in vehicles. And some jurisdictions just let the fires just burn out. So we want to make sure that no matter where they put it in our community, our local fire department, our first responders are equipped to deal with that. They have the appropriate training, and we're not putting the cart before the horse.
The rally is set for this Saturday from 10 to 2 p.m. in the parking lot of the First Learning Stages Daycare at 7207 Livingston Road in Oxon Hill. Well, Tacoma Park police need your help in locating a missing teen. This is 18-year-old Jasmine Nicole Davis. Police say she was last seen on University Boulevard last Wednesday at around 8:30 in the morning. She was wearing a black hoodie, black and white pajama pants, and Converse sneakers. Anyone with information on her whereabouts is asked to contact police at 301-270-1100. And a bicycle and pedestrian safety campaign goes to the campus of Prince George's Community College with a display aimed at keeping bicyclists and pedestrians safe. The Department of Public Works and Transportation and Street Smart showed a testimonial wall called Shatter on Impact. It tells the stories of individuals who were impacted by traffic accidents.
Unfortunately, we have just so many lives that are lost on the roadway. Today, we are fortunate. We do have a survivor here who was impacted by a hit-and-run accident, and he's here to be able to tell his story, but there's so many people that are not here to tell their story.
Because I was actually struck by a vehicle on January 15th, 2021. It's a situation where I was struck by a vehicle on 44th and Southern Avenue, and they were never able to find the driver. So now it's just more so about being able to speak to people about what a person will go through when they are hit by a car, how that actually impacts a person's life, some of the injuries that come with that, how families are impacted and everything like that.
The Vision Zero Prince George's initiative has a goal of eliminating traffic deaths and injuries on county roadways by 2040. And you're watching CTV News. I'm Byron Scott. Back in a moment. Stay tuned.
This is a message that is critical for every Medicaid member. This year, your Medicaid renewal is not automatic, even if it was last year. That's why we're asking you to check in and make sure your contact information is up to date. That way you can be reached when it's your turn to renew. When it is, you'll have 45 days to do so. The renewal process is simple. To get started, log into your account at marylandhealthconnection.gov/check-in and check in with Medicaid today.
Welcome back. The county library system is looking to inspire the next generation of change makers and community activists. The Prince George's County Memorial Library System, its foundation, and the Pull-Up Fund will host its second annual social justice camp for teens this summer. The free week-long camp will teach participants about leadership skills, community organizing, ethics, and the history of social justice movements in the U.S. Camps will be held at the Greenbelt branch beginning July 10th and the Spalding's Library beginning July 24th. Ninth graders through recent high school graduates are welcome to apply.
Our teens are particularly eager to participate in creating positive change in the community, and we know that because we engage with them year-round. At all of our branches, we have teen action groups, we have service project opportunities for folks, and a lot of our teens have been taking a really strong leadership role in helping the library advance and develop its services for their peers. So we're really excited this year in particular because we have some of last year's summer camp alumni coming back as paid peer mentor interns and also as paid fellows to support the camp.
The deadline to apply is Sunday, May 7th. For more details, visit the website on your screen. Well, the Maryland Department of Agriculture is teaming up with the Maryland Food Bank and Capital Area Food Bank. The goal is to get fresh, locally sourced food onto the tables of people in need. The agency gave checks to the two food banks totaling $6.1 million to help them buy food from Maryland farmers and watermen.
This is a huge win for the Chesapeake Bay, for watermen, and for the hungry. It's about connecting and growing to make farmers more profitable while addressing the food deserts and shortages inherent in our system.
We still have a situation where we have families who are working hard, who are doing everything they're asked, and who are still living at or below a poverty line. We have children who every single day are going to schools knowing that the last meal that they received was what they had at lunch the day before.
Governor Moore announced the new program yesterday. And Governor Moore has proclaimed today as Go Orange and Highway Worker Appreciation Day. It's part of the state's efforts to keep highway construction workers safe. Last month, you recall, 6 highway construction workers were killed on I-695 outside of Baltimore. Today, a caravan of highway work vehicles conducted a work zone safety ride around the Baltimore area.
Getting home safely at the end of the day should not be a question for our highway workers. It should be expected. Our crews and partners work every day to ensure a safe and reliable transportation network that connects all of us to life's opportunities. That is why everyone needs to give them respect by paying attention, moving over, and slowing down in the work zones.
Yesterday, the governor announced the formation of a work zone safety work group. April 17th through the 21st is National Work Zone Awareness Week. Well, a former state delegate avoids jail time after pleading guilty to a misdemeanor firearm possession charge. This, according to Maryland Matters. 60-year-old Richard Impalaria pleaded guilty Monday in Baltimore County Circuit Court to possession of a rifle or shotgun by a disqualified person. The Republican is prevented from possessing firearms because of a previous battery conviction. Last summer, the former lawmaker was charged with misconduct in office, theft, and fraud involving the misuse of state funds. He was ordered to pay thousands of dollars in restitution, perform community service, and enter a guilty plea in that gun case. Well, a former Maryland high school and youth football coach pleads guilty to federal child porn charges. He's 53-year-old Moshe Imel. He pleaded guilty to 2 counts of production of child pornography. Officials say he groomed and sexually abused 2 victims while the children were in youth football programs. The abuse continued when the victims attended Calvert County High School, where Imel was employed. He faced up to 40 years in federal prison. And the defrocked Roman Catholic cardinal is charged in Wisconsin with sexually assaulting an 18-year-old man more than 45 years ago. 92-year-old Theodore McCarrick led the Washington Archdiocese for nearly 5 years. He was removed from priesthood in 2019 after a Vatican investigation found he had sexually molested adults and children. McCarrick's attorneys say he suffers from dementia and is not competent to stand trial. Well, 2 popular sororities are holding another event aimed at ending human trafficking in Prince George's. Members of Alpha Kappa Alpha and the Prince George's County Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta will host a human trafficking awareness webinar tonight. This evening's webinar will focus on protecting children. It runs from 7 until 9 p.m. To register for the event, visit the website on your screen. And still to come, we'll check in with your Pet of the Week. Stay tuned. It's time now for your Pet of the Week.
So Hunter is a hound, and hounds are very vocal. In Hunter's case, he had gotten adopted by a family that lived in an apartment building, and the neighbors were complaining about his barking. Barking and howling is very, very normal for a beagle type of dog. He would work best in a single family home. The family dynamics, it doesn't really matter because he loves people. So, a family with kids, without kids would be fine. Hunter did not have a very good start of his life. Him and his siblings were not very well taken care of. The collar was on way too tight to the point where we had to surgically remove it. So he is deserving of a wonderful home and where he could just be loved on and, be reassured that people are friends.
And if you'd like to adopt Hunter or any other pet, call 301-780-7200. Well, it's being called a remarkable... And it's being called a remarkable recovery more than 4 months after suffering cardiac arrest on national television. Buffalo Bills player Damar Hamlin says he's coming back. Hamlin has been medically cleared to resume football activities. In fact, he's now taking part in voluntary team workouts. Hamlin thanked his medical specialist yesterday as well as his teammates and coaches. He said their support gave him the confidence and faith to continue playing.
The diagnosis of pretty much what happened to me was basically commotio cordis. It's a direct blow at a specific point in your heartbeat that causes cardiac arrest. And 5 to 7 seconds later, you fall out. And that's pretty much what everyone's seen January 2nd of this year. Commotio cordis is the leading cause of death in youth athletes across all sports. So that's something that I personally will be taking a step in to make a change. And also with that being said, all the awareness around CPR and the access to AEDs have been lowering that number as well.
Hamlin's incident occurred during a January game against the Cincinnati Bengals. In other sports news, round 1 of the NBA playoffs continues. Prince George's native Kevin Durant and his teammate Devin Booker led the Phoenix Suns to victory last night. They took down the LA Clippers 123-109. Durant scoring 25 points and Booker poured in 38 as the Suns tied their series against the Clippers. In other games last night, Cleveland beat the Knicks 107-90 and the Celtics defeated the Hawks 119-106. And now turning to the weather forecast tonight, mostly clear with lows around 52. Thursday and Friday expect sunny and warm conditions with highs both days in the upper 80s. Saturday, it'll cool down to about 78 and it'll be partly sunny early on Sunday, but rain expected in the afternoon. And that's our news for tonight. I'm Byron Scott. We'll see you tomorrow night. Good night.